Hey everybody, this is Brittany here with Surfing Waves of Light, and today I'm going to channel a message called Cern, Earn, and the Dad Collective. So let's see what the guides have to say. Thank you so much for being here. Greetings, dear beings. It is I, we, us, the Arcturian Council, and we are ever so pleased to be with you all. You are blessed beings indeed. You are the water, the light, and the nutrients of this desolated planet you see. We invite you to imagine a field that is cracked and broken, dirt that is hard from lack of water, soil that is nutrient deficient, and sky that is murky and musty and incompatible with life. This is the landscape with which each and every one of you entered this plane. Now, of course, there was surface level beauty, cut grass and flowers, perfect moments even in the midst of chaos. And yet the core essence of this place has and always was this landscape. It was empty with opportunity. It was empty with guidance. It was empty with possibility. And yet now there is another break in the cage. For you see, the element of quantum mechanics known as Cern has been shut off again. And so there is another opportunity coming for each and every one of you. You may find that this time right now, or the past month or two, may have been filled with challenges, time moving so fast that nothing could get done. And in fact, many moments of depletion, of exhaustion, of upset, of emotions out of control. And yet now, as the quantum realm recalibrates to a new level of lack of density, we will say, with the Cern shut off, there is a quantum interference that now does not need be regarded. For this element, this machine, this human way of trying to imitate what is creation, it is operational in both light and dark, and yet due to the polaric nature of this current plane, the darkness has been more present. And this is because the operators of machinery like this, those who need to imitate God and do not allow for God or cannot see the God within themselves, and therefore must create physical expressions of that want and that need, that inability to understand the creator aspects within tends to place the intentionality behind these moments, these machines, into the negative polarity. Even if the scientist or the physicist or the creator being who is pure in intention, because they are just so in love with the art of that creation, the forces, the funding, the other entities that play a role in allowing for a project such as that to come off the ground, their intentionality is different. And you will see and may already know in your heart that any being who needs more than what they truly need to exist, they are operating out of a huge hole in their system, in their soul, in their consciousness. They are grasping at straws to fill something that they need only look within for. And this is the contrast at this time. There are many beings that have millions and billions of dollars. And there's nothing wrong with this in its plain essence. It is more from the spiritual realm where they need to have so much that it takes away from the perceived world. But this is truly just a macrocosm of the microcosm, because when they withhold their funds or need to grasp onto things or create God machines, they are only taking from themselves. For a being that is truly at peace and aligned and happy here, they do not need to plaster their name all over the internet or create crazy machines or buy multiple houses. For within those walls, it actually just is a representation of the emptiness. If you own 17 houses and they mostly are empty, what does that say? What does that represent? Now, yes, of course, in the physical world, in the 3D perception, that person is successful. That person has so much. That person is doing extremely well. But yet, from the spiritual side, this shows us the emptiness. For homes, they're meant to be lived in. Spaces are meant to be occupied, and communities are truly the show of abundance and currency on this planet. For money can only get you so far. It does not buy you loyalty. It does not buy you authenticity. It does not buy you true affection. Now, yes, money can be used for good. Money can be used to show our support for one another, to bask in the joys of what this life can bring, treating yourself to a gift or a meal when the moment presents. But when so much affluence is accented so far that it becomes an umbrella for truth, because really what money mostly buys someone is separation from others. And that is the intentionality behind this Cern. If we took all of the intentions of every being that was part of that project in their energy, the intentionality behind Cern is to separate, is to collide particles so quickly together that deeper separation occurs. And this is a belief widespread in your physical realm, that the more you can pick something apart, the better you can understand it. And yet what we would say is that it is in wholeness within yourself, wholeness within those around you, integration, understanding, and compassion, creation of moments and experiences, allowance of the universe to show you what is in the God particle, allowance of these magical moments when nature, when even people through divine guidance come into a situation as a heroic element or the miracle that is needed. This to us is a much more interesting exploration in the polarity world of duality, of contrast, which you all exist, this earth plane. This to us is the deepest and most fascinating scientific exploration you could ever have. And so the gift of this Cern shutdown is there is another chance now for each and every one of you to move into a higher state of being without this major quantum interference. And so we want to let you all know that if the struggle bus has been part of your day-to-day life, or if it feels like you are sludging through time with emotions, with heaviness, with projects, just being pushed out of your ability to move them forward. We want you to know that your time is coming now. And so with Cern collapsing, the irony for this being is that her father's name was Ernie. And so now Ern, one of the leaders on this side of the realm, is being allowed to step in. And so what you must know about Ernie, is that it wasn't just who he was that was important. It was very much how he did things. And so this was a man and a soul energy embodied that no matter what the project it was, whether it was slinging a lot of poop from someone's front yard for his profession as a plumber, to making a high quality meal for his friends and family, he always operated in this way. He would clear the field, clean the kitchen, clean his tools, organize his spaces so that there was a fresh canvas to be worked on. Then he would systematically, present in each step, move through whatever needed to be done, whether it was to turn on the suction equipment to start to remove the water that was flooding or the sewage, or begin chopping vegetables so that they are all nicely prepared for when it was time to put them together in the pan. Then when he got to the point when it was time for the alchemy, the synchronicity to come together, this is what he would do. He would gently take each ingredient, each portion, and put it in the time with the presence, the consciousness, and love, and would watch as how in his own kitchen he would always have exactly what he needed, even if the inspiration only came as he put all of the ingredients in the bowl and realized, paprika, Old Bay seasoning, this would add to this combination, and boom, there it was, or bam, someone from the community, from the home came in, just happening to purchase that ingredient, just happening to have that thing. That is part of this expansion, this expression, is that you no longer are going to need to produce in the way you once did. For when the Cern was on and was dominating the quantum field, there was an active layer of resistance, we will say. These particles flying around with so much velocity, with so much volume and intentionality through the funding of money, of power, of people. But now that that has been pushed to the back, it is similar to COVID. There is a chance now for you to relax and allow. Right? During COVID, many beings found themselves receiving money from the government for free, found themselves starting new businesses that were easily successful because there was demand, found themselves deepening into their creative sides, having unexpected time, money, and energy. And so we want you to know, with the Cern going offline, with the astrological basket alignment, which you can find more out about by visiting geophysicist Stefan Burns or Pam Gregory's YouTube channel, with the solar storms, the earthquakes and volcanoes, all of these energies are coming together now to produce an alchemy. Similar to Ernie's process, we will say that the Ern machine is on now. And that way of doing things is going to be favored and supported in the quantum realm. And the quantum realm is so important because the quantum realm is what holds possibility. And so free will can never be completely interfered with, but it can be manipulated and it can be influenced. And that is why being a physical human on Earth is such a brave endeavor, because you truly do not know how the journey is going to play out. You know how it will start and you know how it will end. But everything in between is left up to possibility. It's left up to the combining and conflicting wills of beings on this planet, of fractured souls that believe they are the most they will ever be as a human embodied, and yet have completely forgotten that they are only a sliver of light in the realm of the sun. And so this is an exciting time again. And we know you hear this from your channelers, from your spiritual guides and teachers. But we want you to know truly that the energies coming now are quite supportive. And when they will hit is within each and every one of your specific realms. So some of you may feel this right away. You may feel lightning. You may feel a lifting. You may feel that there's momentum toward your goals as are aligned with the will of your highest self. And some of you may still feel the eruptions. You may be earthquaking and volcanoing within yourself because there's still more to be cleared. But what we want you to know is that this is all part of the process. This is all part of the alchemy. And while it's not as simple to note as imagining Ernie making a beautiful meal, we want you to know that that is what's happening, that there is so much more time that will be available to you. There's so much more money and energy. There's just possibilities that are expanding every day as a result of the clearing of these energies. Earth is truly clearing her pores, clearing old sediment, old hurts and resentments, old anger that she stored within her being, knowing that the density was not high enough to be released. And yet, the density is lessening. The light is coming in. These solar storms are bringing massive upgrades to your planet every single day, whether recorded by scientists or not. The sun is so strong in its wantingness to bring that light to each being, the recognition that they are light. And so it blasts its beams, it blasts its energy like a gun to the earth. And the polarity of the earth receives it as best as it can, so that it trickles down like rain to each person. And it's so intelligent that it knows which light codes need to go to which beings. And then those light codes come in, and they often bring anxiety. They often bring upset. They often bring breakdown. But that is exactly what you need. Just like our cooking analogy with Ernie, you put the vegetables, you put the crabs, you put the ingredients into the saucepan. And what's the first thing it needs to do to get good? It breaks down in the heat, in the sauces, in the juices, in the vegetable broth. It simmers. It bubbles, it boils, and it softens. And you have all created this hard exterior, like the landscape we brought to you in our first moments of this channeling. You have all had these hard and cracked exteriors, walking around with smiles on your face, saying I'm fine or I'm good when people ask if you're okay, even though situations and challenges and struggles are present. But this landscape is cracking off. These explosions are reshaping the earth, are reshaping the lines. And this is what's happening within you. You are being reshaped. And so we're softening you like clay and reshaping you into alignment, into beings who represent the highest expression of consciousness, which is pure unconditional love for the self. And that can look different in different ways. For some beings, it's going to look like pulling back from jobs and careers to come more into the creative self. For others, like this being who has been walking the line between business, creativity, and self-shifting, it's going to look like evolving more deeply into her business, into her healing expressions for herself and others. But no matter what the outcome of this transition, you can know that just like when you go to see your doctor and he prescribes you the exact right medicine you need to heal, you are all being given the exact right medicine you need to evolve, to expand, to fully release this dead, caked on layer of garbage that the low density implored you to wear. This is the difference between survival and thrive. Survival was deeply harsh and extreme, like living in those trenches that beings had to stay in World War I, or walking through the jungles in Vietnam. This was a deeper representation of the survival energy which was being facilitated at that time. And so now, yes, there are still wars and conflicts on your planet, and yet even they are softening. Even peace has been temporarily made in the Middle East. Even moments of joy are being found in the monstrosity of the external world. But of course, we know that each of you know that the external world has nothing to do with you except for its symbolic reflections. And so, as this Cern energy and the Dad Collective, which is the group of men that he is leading, you may find that many dads, many grandfathers, many male figures have been passing or have been altered over the past few years. Well, there is a heavy soul assignment for the dads right now. For the male aspect of this energy has been quite distorted. And so the feminine energy has been less distorted in that females have always had a deeper sense of softness, of gentleness, of the motherly aspects of who they are, even in wartime and chaos and destruction. The caring aspects of the feminine energy have remained quite intact. But it has been the opposite for men who have been trained to believe that putting themselves on the altar of hard work, killing others, being unemotional to guard others from understanding their feelings. This deep, deep conditioning has profoundly impacted the male collective. And so the dad energies led by this being's father and many others, of course, she is going to be channeling for what she sees within her father. But many of the dads right now, their special powers are being expanded. And because of the distortions, many of them chose to pass to a different form, back to their light love selves, so that they could most fully serve. Because that is the one aspect of the dad collective that was never fully distorted. The dads always understood that their job was to care for their loved ones, for their young, their wives, and their communities. And so many of the higher soul aspects saw that the best way for them to do this was to move into their light bodies, where they could adapt and be everywhere at once instead of just making one meal or just finishing one plumbing job or just doing one repair. And that has been the greatest sacrifice of many of these men, is to give up the life that they incarnated into, to give up those they've loved so much in a body, to move into this state. Now, of course, once you're on the other side, there's really no sacrifice at all. They are feeling the love. They are feeling the oneness. They are deeply steeped in pure positive energy. But it does take a human quite a lot of energy to create a life here. And so to choose to leave that, once it has been created, all of the different details, the people, the situations, all of that time and energy spent in a third dimensional realm, it can be quite challenging to give that up. You may know this from a moment where you felt sad or scared, like you didn't want to go on. And yet you thought of all the beautiful situations in your life, the people, the places, the things that brought you meaning and appreciation and joy. And you thought, well, maybe I'll stay because I have created something beautiful here, even though these feelings are so painful and so deep. And that's what this time is about. The Cern energy was distorting the negative quantum field and proliferating it, which in the highest sense was a blessing because it brought those distortions to the forefront. Now the lighter energy, the Cern energy, the dad collective energy, has the opportunity to really take these feelings into the basket astrology, hold them and heal them and cycle them back to you, back to the earth in their higher form, where the crust is dusted off, where the cracks are removed, and where clarity, where authenticity, where true love, true unconditional love, not the kind that money can buy, the kind that can only be received as known for oneself and can only be given when known for oneself. This is the highest thing a soul can attain. So, of course, tend to your physicality. Keep your body well, your finances, your emotions, all the things that come with living in a body. But know that soul currency is experience. And to have the experience of bringing to the surface the most unloving parts of yourself and then clearing them, and clearing them for the collective as well, being a leader in the path of density to emotional shifting. It's a transfiguration that is not of ease, to take a body and physical and to move an energetic, a non-physical thing out of that body. This is a great task. This is an alchemical situation, one that requires mastery, one that requires patience, one that requires moving against the traditional conditioning of the society, which tells you to hold on and save your money for the future and ignore your needs right now. Right now is the only time you'll ever have. Right now is the only moment where you can allow that to happen. And these light codes, these releases from the earth, the Schumann resonance, the basket astrology, it is a major, major assault on the non-physical negativity, on the conditioning. And so, like a war, although of course being done in the most loving ways possible, there is an assault on your negative frameworks, your ego selves that are not serving humanity and physicality as egos do for good, but the negative aspects of that, the ones that bring you down, the ones that place you into victim mode, blaming, shaming, worrying about money and worrying about time and worrying about details. This is not of the fifth dimension consciousness. For a being steeped in fifth dimension consciousness, a challenge comes and they just know it's going to be okay. They get the messages from their inner self that tells them what actions they need to take. They follow through on those actions with trust and courage, and then they move forward, knowing that whatever the outcome, it is the highest. As long as they gave their best human effort, they can trust that whatever comes through is meant for them. And so as you move through this time, we invite you to invoke your guides and teachers and angels, us, the Arcturian Council, Saint Germain, Jesus, Ananda, the Arcturians, Guardians, Pleiadians, Blue Avians. But we also invite you to bring in the Dad Collective and the Urn energies, because these are highly titrated masculine sentient energies that are needed to be embodied at this time. And in fact, many women and men who are in tune with their feminine energies, who are still here in bodies, you are going to be the ones to first emulate this energy, because the men embodied are still struggling a lot with expressing their feelings, with allowing these eruptions. You may find that many men at this time are having internal issues because they are not fully able to allow these energies to move through them. And so when the energy gets stuck in the body, it is pushed somewhere else. High blood pressure, hernias, any kind of gastrointestinal distress, heart stress, gallbladder stress, issues in releasing fluids and other things from the body, as we did not mean for that to be part of this channeling. But as humans and bodies, you all know that to exist on this place, there is so much you must do. There is a level of, we will say, disgustingness that is asked to be dealt with here. And so we honor you for dealing with that. For here on the other side, we need not go to the bathroom. We need not take showers. We need not sweat. and feel and move through energy in the physical way that you do. And so we honor you for just waking up each and every day and dealing with a body, and then taking the next step to honor that body, honor the soul energy in that body, and then going even further to take that self-cultivated love and bring it to the collective. It is truly, truly a courageous task. And we just want you to know how proud of you we are. That no matter where you are, whether you can't get out of bed or whether you're flying high and loving yourself immensely, it does not matter. For to choose to be a human on earth, especially at this time with explosions and artillery and all of the energies swirling around you, just waiting to catch you off guard so it can bring something to the surface or create a miracle. For all the good and bad and in between, it is an intense time. And so we honor you. And we would like to close this channeling with some energy for each and every one of you to help you to stay grounded, to stay centered, and to process this chaos in the best, most joyful, and loving way. So we invite you to take a seat or lie down wherever you are, or keep your eyes open if you're driving in the car. But otherwise, taking a couple of nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Closing your eyes if not already done so. Becoming fully present in the body. Noticing your heels or feet touching the floor. Your buttocks on the ground. Your head resting softly. Your hands, your elbows, every little bend in a joint, strand of hair in or out of place. Just noticing. And on your next breath, allowing the earth energies, the highest, most specialized form of the Schumann resonance, the core crystal of the earth, the amethyst of time, to move up in to your entire being, supporting you, grounding you, providing for you, nurturing you, like a green sea rising up all around you, covering your internal body and external field with that light, that plasma, that offering. Feeling the waves, coherent, smooth waves from this green water plasma around you. Still being able to breathe, whether you're underwater or under plasma or under light, however form this energy is taking today. We invite you to invoke the plasmic energies, as this is a representation of matter coexisting in physical and non-physical at one time, as is your goal as a human on earth at this time. Providing an anchoring into the light of earth and into the physicality of humanness. And on your next breath, see sensing or imagining as a beautiful blue wave of crystalline energy comes down from the heavens, from Source, from God, universe, and all that is, your guides and teachers, strands of purples and pinks and yellows and blues, anything that you need today to be successful in trusting and aligning and feeling as this crashes over you softly, but with an impact of power, of regeneration, of cleansing, forming waves and breaking down, just infinite flow from Source. The most effective generator of energy that ever was, is, or will be. Filling in all the spaces, mixing into the plasma, finding the creative moment where earth and sky energies can come together to form the point of attraction and the unconditional love for yourself you need to not only exist in this next space of time, these next few years of potency, of possibility, of positive polarity, but to truly surf these waves of light with mastery and fun, dancing and walking, getting barreled, or just feeling like you're flying. Letting these energies hold you and carry you, gently guiding you to your next step and your next step and your next step. That is all you have here. One moment after another, after another, after another. Perfectly orchestrated, perfectly synchronized, perfectly intelligent. Allowing yourself to be not only the scientist, but also the experiment. How can I love myself, be light, and be authentic in this time of healing chaos? And letting this earth and sky energy answer those questions for you. And once that creation has fully sat, once those energies have fully mixed together like a beautiful salad dressing, from that mixture comes a little box. And in that box, there's a crystal, but don't open it yet. Take that box and place it on your chest, right above your heart. And now carefully see, sense, or imagine as this box melts into your chest cavity and lands atop your heart. And then, without exposing this crystal to any outside influence, quantum, air, physicality. Placing that crystal in the center of your heart. Noticing what it is. What kind of crystal do you see? For this being, it's a quartz. A tiny, long, slender quartz. Keeping her clear, keeping her vitalized, keeping her in tune with her purpose and her authenticity. Reflecting back to her everything she needs. To allow the river of life and flow to take her where she needs to go. Sit with your crystal for a few more moments. Ask for a purpose or a message. Notice how your body feels. From letting these energies coherently interact with your field. By coming to a place of sacredness to let them in. By opening the door to integration on the quantum field. This is really all that is asked of you at this time. And we will continue to transmit these messages, these meditations, and these moments. Nothing for you to do right now but to notice again where you are in your mind, your body, and your spirit. And whenever you feel called to come fully back into waking consciousness, you can do so by coming back into the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. We are the Arcturian Council. We are ever so pleased to be with you. And we will speak to you again at another time. Okay, that was the Arcturian Council with their message and meditation, Cern, and the Dad Collective. If you want a private channeling, I invite you to go to my website, www.surfingwavesoflight.com. My guides are bringing in profound energies at this time for these moments, providing clarity, peace, calm, and everything you need to be the light. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful day.